Hello everyone, very good morning. So in our last two sessions we discussed about what are different possible electronic transitions in various organic molecules, and we have also seen what is the main principle of UV visible spectroscopy, that is nothing but actually B-Lambert's law. What is B-Lambert's law? How to derive the B-Lambert's law equation. After that we discussed actually limitations of B-Lambert's law also. So in today's session I am going to discuss a little bit more about the absorption spectrum and corresponding intensity and absorption shifts and all those things. Okay, so in our last session we have already discussed about one of the absorption spectrum of this particular molecule. So in this particular molecule majorly there are two different absorptions are there. One is actually around 230 nanometers, one absorption peak is there, and other one actually around 330 nanometers peak is there, like this. So like this always we have to generate the absorption spectrum for various molecules. From that absorption spectrum we can able to understand peak intensity and peak absorption values and all those things. Generally if you take any absorption spectrum, so absorption spectrum is nothing but actually plot between the on x-axis we have to take the wavelength. So we are sending different wavelength toward the unknown molecule from ultraviolet region to visible region. So ultraviolet region nothing but actually 200 to 360 nanometers. This is ultraviolet region. From 360 to 780 nanometers we defined as actually visible region. Yes or not? So this is the entire region. So in UV visible spectroscopy the source of radiation actually UV and visible radiation. So whenever this radiation interacts with the unknown molecule, then there is absorption of radiation depending on the type of molecule that is actually. So we have different types of electronic transitions depending upon the type of bonding available in the given molecule, like sigma bonding, pi bonding. If that molecule contains any lone pair of electron, then there is a non-bonding level. So based on that different possible transitions are available in a given molecule, but among those the most possible transitions are actually low energy transitions. So generally that is nothing but actually pi to pi star transition like this, or n to pi star transition like this. So because these two particular electronic transitions requires lowest amount of energy, so these are actually most probable transitions. So that means whenever if you want to take absorption spectrum of any molecule, so there should be either pi bond or some lone pair of electrons in a given molecule, pi bond along with the lone pair of electrons, then only you will get some absorption peaks like this. That means the group which is responsible for the absorption or electronic transition, those are actually called chromophores, and those two we will discuss actually. So before that just try to understand what is absorption spectrum. So absorption spectrum is nothing but actually it is a graphical representation. On x-axis we have to take the wavelength values, because in this case, so this is the absorption spectrum. So this particular molecule actually absorbing in the region of 200 to 360 only. So that is the reason on x-axis this is a 200 value up to 300 to 350 region only. So like this on x-axis we have to take wavelength values, and on y-axis we have to take the corresponding absorption values. So for example absorbing intensity, so 100% intensity or 80% intensity like that. So in this case we are actually taking absorption values, and on x-axis we are taking actually wavelength values. So always we will get some kind of peaks like this in the absorption spectrum. So we have to analyze absorption spectrum, and we have to understand, okay, this particular peak is mainly because of the either pi to pi star transitions or n to pi star transition like this. So in this case the first transition is mainly because of the pi to pi star transition, that also we discussed in the last class, and the second transition is mainly because of the n to pi star transition in this case, because this oxygen actually having lone pair of electrons like this. So like this for each compound we will get some absorption spectra. So the spectra actually contains different kind of peaks like this, and we have to analyze each peak intensity and peak values. From that we can able to understand So what type of unsaturation available in a given molecule. So all those things. So this is something about the absorption spectrum. So what is absorption spectrum means? Absorption spectrum always plotted between the wavelength versus corresponding absorption values. Okay. And the main principle of UV spectroscopy actually B-Lambert's law. According to B-Lambert's law, absorption values are directly proportional to the concentration of the unknown solution. If the unknown solution concentration increases, automatically absorption value also increases. That already we discussed. So now I am going to tell you about the what is chromophore and what is oxochrome in a given molecule, how to define the chromophore, how to define the oxochrome by taking some examples. So our topic actually, so chromophore and oxochrome. So chromophore means if you take any organic molecule or any molecule, so in that particular molecule, so we are getting absorption spectrum mainly because of one particular transitions. We have seen the what are the possible electron transitions in a given molecule depending upon the type of molecule. Either N2 pi star is possible some other cases, or pi 2 pi star is possible in some other cases, or N2 sigma star or pi 2 sigma star or sigma 2 pi star or sigma 2 sigma star. So these are the possible transitions in the case of any molecule. But among these, the most probable transitions are actually defined as these are the lower energy transitions. They require actually lower energy in order to promote the electron from the ground state to the higher energy state. So that means if you want to get the absorption spectrum for any molecule like this, if you want to get the absorption spectrum for any molecule, here actually absorbance value like this, we want to get the absorption spectrum any molecule. So any of these transition actually the responsible person. So because these transitions actually possible if your molecule contains any double bond like this or triple bond like this or like this or any halogen kind of X lone pair containing groups like this. So if such kind of groups are available in your molecule, then only you will get the corresponding absorption spectrum in this manner. So that is the reason. So chromophore actually defined as it is an isolated covalently bonded group. It is an isolated covalently bonded group that shows characteristic absorption in the ultraviolet or visible region. So in your molecule, so one independent group, either C double bond C group or C double bond O group or C double bond S group or any other kind of group, that group actually can able to give characteristic absorption in the region of either visible light or in the region of ultraviolet light. So such kind of groups are actually called chromophores. For example, C double bond C. If you take any aromatic compound or non-aromatic compound like this is the benzene. So in this case, in the case of benzene, we have a C double bond C group like this. So this is the chromophore for this particular compound because of the C double bond C, we can able to see corresponding absorption spectrum. So in our absorption spectrum, we will see some kind of absorption peaks. So that peak mainly because of the C double bond C group only. So such kind of groups are actually called chromophores. So that is the responsible for the corresponding absorption spectrum. So isolated covalently bonded group that shows characteristic absorption either in the region of ultraviolet radiation region or in the range of visible region. So example C double bond C, C double bond O, C double bond N or N double bond N. So these kind of groups are actually called actually chromophores. For example, if you go back to the previous slide, so in this case, how many chromophore groups are available? So even this molecule also contains C double bond C group, yes or not? So this is one of the C double bond C group, that means that is one of the chromophore, and we have also C double bond O group also. So basically these two groups are actually providing corresponding absorption spectrum. So like this, so chromophore is nothing but actually in a given molecule there is a one group, it is a covalently bonded group, so that actually having proper absorption in the region of either ultraviolet radiation or in the region of visible radiation. So such kind of groups are actually called chromophores. they are the responsible for the corresponding absorption spectrum. And coming to the oxochrome. So oxochrome actually it is one of the substituents on the main molecule. Individually that is not the chromophore. So it individually it is not acting as a chromophore. That means because of that group we are not getting any proper absorption peak in the absorption spectrum. But once it is attached to the corresponding organic molecule for a corresponding organic compound, so now this molecule actually having some kind of absorption shift. So some kind of absorption shift. So such kind of molecules or groups are actually called oxochrome. So any group, so oxochrome nothing but actually any group which does not itself act as a chromophore. It does not itself act as a chromophore. So individually that cannot act as a chromophore. What is chromophore? Chromophore actually having proper absorption peak in the corresponding absorption spectrum. That is the main group responsible for the corresponding absorption spectrum, like C double bond C or N double bond N, something like that. But some other groups, they are individually not acting as a chromophore, but whose presence brings about a shift of the absorption band. But due to the presence of such kind of group, to the main molecule, there is a absorption shift. So such kind of groups are actually called oxochrome. So, but brings about the shift of the absorption band towards the red end of the spectrum. So that we will see what is red and what is blue end in the next slide. So for understanding this in this example, this concept, here I am taking two examples. So one is actually benzene. So this is the benzene molecule. If you see the benzene absorption spectrum, so there is a one peak that is actually around lambda value 255 nanometers. But once this benzene ring attached to another group like this, so if we attach or if we add NH2 group to the benzene ring, now this is actually aniline. This aniline molecule. So this is the benzene ring. What is the difference between these two structures? So benzene, this is only benzene ring, but here the benzene ring attached to NH2 group. So this is the additional group. So in this case, this is the additional group. So this NH2 group itself cannot act as any chromophore. What is the reason? So what is the NH2 group? In case of NH2 group, nitrogen attached to two hydrogens like this. So in the case of aniline group, what is aniline group? This is the NH2. That means nitrogen attached to two hydrogens like this, and there is a lone pair of electrons also. This nitrogen contains lone pair of electron. But in the case of NH2 group, all bonds are actually sigma bonds only. Yes or not? So in case of NH2 group, all bonds are actually sigma bonds, and nitrogen actually having lone pair of electron. Okay. No problem. Elage break వచ్చింది కదా.
1 to 2 స్లాట్ నాకు ఇచ్చారు. మరి ఎన్నింటికి రావాలి?
అది ఇప్పుడు సార్ 1 to 2 నా సార్?
1 to 2 నాది స్లాట్.
అవును సార్. 10 minutes టైం.
10 minutes టైం. అదే ఎన్నింటికి రావాలి?
1:10కి రండి సార్. 1:10కి అయిపోద్ది.
వేరే వాళ్ళు వస్తారు సార్.
వేరే వాళ్ళు వస్తారు.
కంటిన్యూ చేసి ఆందోళన.
So in case of NH2 group, all bonds are actually sigma bonds, and there is a one lone pair. That means in the case of NH2 group, most probably the transition actually N2 sigma star or sigma to sigma star only. But those two transition actually higher energy transition, they require actually shorter wavelength. We cannot see in the absorption spectrum of corresponding spectrum. So that means NH2 group individual not acting as a chromophore, but once it is attached to the benzene ring, initially benzene ring shows absorption peak around 255 nanometers, but due to the presence of NH2 group, that value shifted to 280 nanometers. So wavelength actually increased, yes or no, from 255 to 280 nanometers. So aniline group, aniline compound shows absorption peak at 280 nanometers. So that indicates that due to the presence of NH2 group on the benzene ring, benzene absorption peak, what are the peak is peak response, because these 255 nanometer peak is mainly because of the 3 double bonds like this. So that absorption peak shifted to 280 nanometers, little bit longer wavelength. So longer wavelength means lower energy. So that is actually a red shift, red end. So absorption band towards the red end. If the wavelength increases, that is actually a red shift. So like this, some of the groups, due to the presence of such kind of groups, there is a shift in the absorption band. So such kind of groups are actually defined as oxochromes. So this is one of the best example, aniline and benzene. So benzene initially provides absorption peak around 255 nanometers, but once NH2 group attached to the benzene ring, that means in the case of aniline compound, the same absorption peak actually occurs at around 280 nanometers. So this is actually a shift in the value. So in absorption spectrum, so due to the presence of chromophores or in addition to the oxochrome groups, always there is some kind of shift, absorption shifts always be available, and those we have to understand. So here you can, and these some of the chromophores you can see in the table in different molecules. In case of ethylene, we have a C double bond C group. What is ethylene molecule? CH2 double bond CH2. So in case CH2 CH2, what is the main chromophore? C double bond C group only. In that case, the possible transition actually pi to pi star, and you can see it absorbs around 175 nanometers, and this corresponding molar extension coefficient from the B-Lambert's law. And here the solvent they use actually hexane solvent, because always you have to dissolve the compound in the corresponding one particular solvent. Similarly, the another example actually hexane. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So this is actually hexane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the one hexane. So this sixth carbon, the first carbon actually having, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the sixth first carbon actually having a C triple bond C group like this. So in this case also the most possible transition actually pi to pi star only, and it is actually absorbing around 180 nanometers. Okay. In case of so this is not the ethanol, this is actually acetone, sorry. So this is actually acetone molecule, there is spelling mistake. So C double bond group. So in case of acetone molecule, so we have a C double bond group, as well as this oxygen actually contains lone pair of electrons like this. That means in this case the two transitions actually possible. One is actually pi to pi star, and second actually n to pi star actually. That is the reason they mentioned two possible transitions in this manner. Or N double bond nitromethane, CH3 NO2. So in case of NO2 group, we have a N double bond O group. NO2 means double bond O like this. So there is a C double bond O group. That is the reason N to pi star and pi to transition actually possible. These are the possible absorption peak values. And in case of methyl bromide or methyl iodide, CH3 Br or CH3I. So in those molecules, all bonds are actually sigma bonds only. So, and these halogen groups are also having lone pair of electrons. All the actually halogens having lone pair of electrons. So that means N to sigma star possible, and one more transition actually sigma to sigma star, but that is the higher energy transition. That is the reason they mentioned actually N to sigma star possible in these two molecules. And you can see, because these are the higher energy transitions, lambda value decreases. Yes, sir. So like this, we can able to identify the chromophores in the corresponding molecules, and these chromophores are actually responsible for the corresponding absorption spectrum. So now let us see what are the shifts possible in the case of absorption spectrum. Generally, in the case of absorption spectrum, So the absorption spectrum means it is plotted between the wavelength versus absorbance value. So absorbance value like this, and you will get some kind of peaks like this. But these peaks values are actually shift little bit, always having some kind of shift because of the presence of oxochromes or extension of conjugation or any additional groups. So generally, if the absorption peak value shifted to higher wavelength, if the absorption peak value so shifted to higher wavelength, that means longer wavelength, that is actually called bathochromic shift, or this is also known as red shift. That is also known as red shift, like this. If the absorption peak shifted to lower wavelength, so lower wavelength, if the absorption peak shifted to lower wavelength, so that is actually called hypsochromic shift. This is also known as blue shift. That is also known as blue shift. So some cases what will happen, due to the presence of additional groups, the absorption intensity increases or decreases. So if the intensity increases, if the absorption peak intensity increases, that is known as actually hyperchromic shift. That is actually known as hyperchromic shift. If the absorption intensity decreases in this manner, that is actually called a hypochromic shift. So like this, in the case of absorption spectrum, 4 different shifts actually possible: absorption or intensity shift. So what are the absorption shifts? Bathochromic shift or red shift, or hypsochromic shift or blue shift. And intensity shifts actually hyperchromic shift or hypochromic shift. So hyperchromic shift means intensity value further increases. Hypochromic shift means intensity value further decreases. So we will see some example. So for example, this is the aniline compound. This is actually aniline compound. Aniline, we know that aniline compound actually absorbing around 280 nanometers. Lambda will around, it shows absorption peak around 280 nanometers. So because of the 3 double bonds like this. So if it is acidified by using some kind of acid, if you provide H plus ion, that means by using some acid like H3SO4 or HNO3, whatever it is, if you provide some kind of protons to the aniline molecule, it is become actually ammonium aniline cation like this, NH3 plus cation like this. Now if you see the absorption spectrum of this molecule, it shows actually lambda value 203 for the corresponding 3 conjugate double bonds like this. So initially it shows 280 nanometers for the corresponding 3 double bonds, but once it is protonated, so now the value shifted to 203 nanometers only. It is actually 203, from 280 to 203. That means value decreased or increased. Value decreased or increased. So value lambda value actually decreased. So lambda value decreased means hypsochromic shift, or this is also known as blue shift. This is also known as actually blue shift. So like this, shift towards longer wavelength actually called bathochromic shift, and shift towards shorter wavelength actually called blue shift. So in this example, there is a blue shift like this. So we'll see another example. And here, if your molecule contains only C double bond C group, single C double bond C group, for example, let us say that is actually CH2 double bond CH2 compound. So in this compound, we have only single C double bond C group only, or even in this case, we have only single C double bond C group only like this. So in those cases, generally the C double bond C group actually shows absorption peak around 170 nanometers. It shows actually around 170 nanometers. Once, if the conjugation increases, if we add one more double bond like this, so here we have C double bond C connected to another C double bond C like this. Once the conjugation increases, so this entire system now absorbs around 270 nanometers. So from here to here, value increasing or value decreasing? Lambda value increasing or decreasing? So lambda value increasing. That means peak value shifted to longer wavelength. The peak value actually shifted to longer wavelength when compared to C double bond C group. So these is actually called bathochromic shift or red shift. If you increase further number of double bonds in this manner, it is a highly conjugated system. If it is a highly conjugated system, so then we will get the absorption peak in the region of visible region. So that is the reason whenever you have a long chain conjugation in a given molecule, automatically that molecule always absorbs in the region of visible light only. That's the reason in case of plants, plants always choose a green color. That is because of the chlorophyll actually available in the plants actually. So those are actually one of the highly conjugate system. So like this, we can see different kind of shifts in the case of absorption pattern depending on the either extension of conjugation or due to presence of oxochromes or any groups like that. Okay, and these some more examples. So this is actually 1,3-butadiene molecule. So this is actually 1,3-butadiene molecule. If you can, in this case you can see it is actually showing absorption peak around 220 nanometers. But once the conjugation increases, here 3 double bonds are there, 1, 2, 3. The value shifted to 257 nanometers, from 220 to 257. So this is also one kind of bathochromic shift. Yes or not? And here for 1, 2, 3, 4 alternate double bonds are there, and that means conjugation further increases. So in this case the value shifted to 280 nanometers. 220, 257, now it is actually 287. So wavelength actually further increases. So like this, if the conjugation increases, lambda value increases, that means energy gap between the pi to pi share actually decreases. So basically in this case, what is the reason? This is mainly because of the pi to pi share transition. Yes or not? These groups are actually C double bond C groups. That means what is the possible transition? Pi to pi share. So in this case, this is the energy gap. But here, this gap little bit decreased because of the additional double bond. And in this case, this gap further decreases like this. Like this. So there is a energy the difference between energy levels actually decreases because of the extension of conjugation. So once the energy gap decreases, automatically the system absorbs longer wavelength, that means lower energy. The same thing we can also see in the case of aromatic compounds. Benzene absorbing around 255 nanometers. But if it is a naphthalene group, naphthalene compound, the absorption value shifted to 314. If it is the anthracene, 380 nanometers. If it is a tetrazene, around 480 nanometers. That means this is one of the colored compound because it is absorbing from the visible region. What is the visible region? Approximately 360 to 780 nanometers we define as visible region. If any compound absorbing in this region, that shows one particular color. If any compound absorbing below that region, so that may be a colorless compound. So 255, 314, this is very close to the 360 value, but still that is actually colorless compound. So like this, if the conjugation increases or a number of benzenics increases like this, so the tetrazene molecule, further molecules actually show some kind of color like this. So this is something about the what is chromophore, what is oxochrome available in a given molecule, and because based on that, what are the possible shifts are actually available, either bathochromic shift or hypsochromic shift. Discussed about what is chromophore, what is oxochrome. So what are the possible absorption intensity shifts in the case of any one of the absorption spectrum depending on the extension of conjugation or due to the presence of any additional groups, all those things. In the next session we will discuss about the instrumentation of the UV spectroscopy, and then we will discuss about some of the applications of the UV spectroscopy and all those things. Okay, so thank you one and all. If you have any doubts, please send a mail to my email ID, or you can also contact to my mobile number. So thank you one and all.